On September 28th of 2021, Meghan Elliott goes to bed in her home where she lives with her two parents and her twin brother, Benjamin Elliott. They're both 17 at the time. Meghan lives on the side of the house with Benjamin in their own rooms, separated by a hallway. Meghan Elliott falls asleep on September 28th of 2021. Her last memory is being ripped out of her sleep, her brother standing over her, a knife plunged in her neck, and a pillow over her face. Like Meghan, we don't know what motivated Benjamin Elliott to stab his own twin sister in the neck. But what we do know is that he calls 911 at 4:41. Hello? Hello? My name is Benjamin Elliott. I just killed my sister. Hello? Dispatch. Do you need medical? What's happening? Is she awake? Is she breathing? I just killed my sister. I stabbed her with a knife. He's whispering. But to understand the context of that 911 call, you have to understand a couple things about sleepwalking. Get ready to write these down, because you're going to want to look back at them when you hear testimony and evidence here in a bit. When a person sleepwalks, sleepwalking occurs in their third sleep cycle. There are 4 core principles about sleepwalking, and you will hear testimony about these 4 core principles. And when you hear the defendant's statement, you're going to want to refer to these 4 core principles. Number 1, you have no short-term memory if you're sleepwalking. The prefrontal cortex of your brain is turned off. You don't have memories from the moments leading up to sleepwalking. You don't have a memory of the episode itself. Number 2, you're not dreaming. You can't, because the prefrontal cortex in your brain is switched off. Number 3, provocation and proximity. Provocation and proximity. Violence in cases of sleepwalking is generally documented to occur when the individual who is sleepwalking is contacted by another person, maybe trying to wake them, restrained by another person to prevent them from going anywhere, and then the person sleepwalking lashes out in violence. And you'll see why that's important here in a moment. And your final principle, confusion upon arousal, disorientation, not knowing how you got somewhere, not knowing where you are sometimes. So let's go back to that 911 call, because we know the 911 call happens at 4:41 a.m. Officers arrive on scene 10 minutes later. The defendant is doing CPR, but patrol officers notice that the blood under Meghan Elliott's body is coagulating. She's pale. She's cold. Her lips are turning blue. The officers know that the defendant called 911 at 4:41. The only person that knows when the offense occurred is the defendant.
So the prosecutor suggesting right here to this jury that some time passed before the defendant made that 911 call where he's whispering about stabbing his sister. This is a messed up case. I tell you what, we're going to hit pause. We'll watch the rest of the States Open together live next.
Grieving widow or mastermind behind a murder.
Monica Cementelli is accused of plotting to kill her husband.
Famed celebrity hairstylist Fabio Cementelli.
Prosecutors say she and her lover killed Fabio to collect a big life insurance policy.
The defense may say she's a bad woman, but she wouldn't be involved in a murder.
It's a whodunit Hollywood story. But will there be a twist that no one sees?
The celebrity stylist murder trial. Today, only on Court TV.
Thanks for staying with us here on Court TV Live. I'm Julie Grant. This morning, we're in Texas for the sleepwalking murder trial for Benjamin Elliott. So Elliott told police that he was sleepwalking when he stabbed his twin sister to death. We're playing what we have not aired yet, and that is this trial. It started earlier this week. It's going to resume today, and we filmed for you the start of this trial, the opening statement. So let's go in and watch the rest of the States Open. The prosecutor was just getting to the point where he was calling into question the timing of the incident, because the defendant makes a call at something like 4:41 a.m., whispering, admitting to stabbing his sister. But yet, when investigators arrived, they could see she was clearly deceased for quite some time. Let's go back in.
You know that phone he used to call 911? It's his cell phone. And you're about to learn some interesting thing about cell phones. Cell phone evidence is obtained when a digital download or re-imaging of the contents of your cell phone occurs. For example, it reports data like when you unlock it. It reports data like when your display turns on or off. It reports data like when you lock it. And if you have the health app activated, it records your steps and about how far you went with the phone. It also tells us what you search on the internet. It also tells us what you're watching. And it certainly tells us if you're awake on your cell phone. See, what we do know is that the defendant is on his cell phone watching YouTube videos and searching and browsing Reddit throughout the night. What we do know is that at 4 o'clock, we start seeing him lock and unlock the device more often. What we do know is that at 4:06, he unplugs the device. What we do know is that at 4:08, he takes about 8 steps for 18 feet. And then at 4:17, the device is locked. You're going to want to write 4:17 down. At 4:17, the device is locked, and that device is not unlocked again until 4:41 when he calls 911. When the Sheriff's Office Homicide Division shows up at the scene, they do what any other homicide investigator would do. They want to talk to the witnesses. So they attempt to interview the defendant's parents who are on scene. But there's a lawyer there who tells them, we'll sit down with you, but just not right now. Recognizably, it's not the right time. But also tells them, if you want to search this house, you need to get a search warrant. And so they did. And we recover the knife, and we recover his cell phone, and the crime scene unit documents the scene. The defendant is interviewed by Deputy Munoz at the Sheriff's Office Homicide Division. Deputy Munoz walks into the room, sits him down, and says, I just want to know what happened that day. Put me in your shoes and explain to me. What happened? Well, the defendant says he went to sleep around 2:30, 3 o'clock. Cell phone evidence says that the phone is active until 4:17 a.m. He says that he remembers the feeling of stabbing something, and he demonstrates it to Deputy Munoz. When Deputy Munoz asks him, well, how do you know what it feels like to stab someone? And he pauses, and he's thinking about it. And then he says, well, I remember it felt like my knife went into something, and then I heard a noise, and then he tells 3 different versions that he grabbed the pillow and applied pressure to her neck, that he first turned the light on, saw what was happening, and then applied pressure. He turned the light on, he saw what was happening, applied pressure, immediately called 911. And you'll see his demeanor in the interview. What we know is that the defendant is intelligent. He's 17 at the time, but he's intelligent. And Deputy Munoz asked him questions. Have you ever been diagnosed with any mental health issues? No, but my sister has. Have you ever sleptwalked before? Your parents told you anything about it? No. Well, there was this one time, but no. I guess I don't wake up with a loot of treasure on my bed. But I've never put a camera in my room to see. Oh, did you take any medication that day? Well, I took some over-the-counter cold medicine, but that was way earlier in the day. And then he starts asking him about his education. How are you doing in school? And the defendant's like, well, the plan is to take the SAT on Saturday. And they start discussing the day. And then Deputy Munoz redirects his attention. Let's talk about what happened then. See, the defendant's cell phone is an iPhone 6. At the time, iPhone 6 did not have Face ID. It had fingerprint identification to unlock your device, and it had passcodes. You could enter off a passcode. The defendant has an alphanumeric passcode on his cell phone, which means it's both numbers and numerals. So, Deputy Munoz gets consent to search the defendant's cell phone. Later down the road, he writes a search warrant and searches it again. And we find out when he's unlocking that device, when he's browsing, when he's taking steps, and when he's unplugging it, plugging it in, and he walks to the crime scene, the inside of that home. At the end of the interview, Deputy Munoz comes in and he tells me, I'm sorry to tell you this, but Meghan has succumbed to her injuries. She's passed away. And the defendant says, Thank you, Your Honor.